Breaking now at 6 o'clock, hundreds of migrants stopped at sea just moments ago.
And the Coast Guard and Border Patrol agents closing in on the group just offshore of the ritzy Ocean Reef community. That boat just packed to the brim there. So let's get right over to Local 10's Syra Onwer live at the Coast Guard station in Miami Beach with the videos just into the newsroom. Syra.
And Sanella, the guests staying at the posh private club Ocean Reef at Key Largo say they were absolutely shocked to look out on the water and see hundreds of migrants arriving on small boats, making a very dangerous journey to shore.
Witnesses at Ocean Reef describing the arrival of migrant vessels this afternoon. Kyler Brown submitting these videos from Ocean Reef to Local 10, telling me over the phone he saw hundreds of people coming in on the boats. Photos from Key Largo's Ocean Reef showing people packed in tightly on the small boats. The U.S. Coast Guard confirming USCG and Border Patrol Air and Marine Operations and other partner agencies are on the scene with a grounded sailing vessel off Ocean Reef. This is the latest in a recent surge of migrant boats arriving in South Florida.
Now, while the Coast Guard did confirm they do have an active presence there, they have not yet confirmed where these vessels came from. Of course, we are staying on this story, and we'll keep you updated with details throughout the evening. But that is the very latest live from the Coast Guard Miami station. Syra Onwer, Local 10 News.
Well, for more on this story, joining us now, former acting DHS Secretary and America First Policy Institute's Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer, Chad Wolf. Chad, thank you for being here. Let's pick up right where our reporter Nate Foy left off about migrants, a tiny fraction of them being bused to now New York and, of course, here in D.C. with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser getting upset about just 4,000. When I was reporting this past week on the border in the RGV, in just the RGV, Del Rio, and El Paso sectors, you've got more than 1 million have been encountered, but yet 4,000 here in D.C., and Bowser throws her hands up, a number of hundreds in Adams in New York, and he can't deal with it. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that they're out of touch with actually what's going on that border. And so you talk about 4,000 in D.C., that's what RGV probably apprehends, Rio Grande Valley apprehends in the course of 2 days. And so you have Mayor Adams, you have Mayor Bowser talking about they need help from the federal government. Well, I say welcome to the fight. That's what Texas, Arizona, and other states along that border have been saying now for 17 months. We need help from the federal government. We need them to step in. We need them to do their job and to secure that border. And absent that, you're going to continue to see hundreds of thousands of individuals coming across that border and go into communities all over the country. And I think what Governor Abbott's doing is he's having to shame some of these big city mayors to actually stand up and say enough is enough. And we need to stop this, and we need help from the federal government to do their job along that border so that we don't have to have these tough conversations about hundreds and thousands of individuals into communities all over the country. You talked about you showed a clip about the dangerous journey here to the border. Absolutely, it is dangerous. And this administration continues month after month encouraging individuals to take that dangerous journey and put their lives in the hands of cartels and smugglers who care nothing about them. All they care about is profit.
Well, you raise a good point, Chad, because what the migrants that Nate interviewed, they went through the Darien Gap between Colombia and Panama 6-8 months ago. I went there. You can only get there in a canoe with indigenous Indians. I interviewed a woman who had been raped just hours before we encountered her. She came into Panama with the group that we rode out with, and of course they continue this journey. It goes all the way through Honduras, Guatemala, all the way through southern Mexico, all the way to our border, but yet this administration has done zero that I can see in trying to stop the pipeline that is coming now from South America and countries beyond. Do you believe now that these big city mayors are starting to have to weigh in that maybe something will change?
Well, I certainly hope that it'll change. I'm not going to count on it at the end of the day. Look, all of these countries along that route, Mexico and Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, and all of those look to the United States for leadership on this issue. And during my time at DHS, I met with many of those foreign officials, and they want to know what is the United States doing to prevent this surge of individuals. And if they look at the Biden administration right now, they're saying nothing. Why would they take extraordinary measures, which we need them to do. Why would they do that if they continue to look to the United States and we're not enforcing our own laws on our southern border? And so it takes leadership and it takes will to do this and to make some very difficult decisions. And you're getting none of that from the current administration and the current leadership of the department. They're not making any tough decisions to try to stop the illegal behavior, to get it somewhat under control so that you can bring some law and order back to what's occurring along that border. Instead, 17 months and there is no end in sight. That we're going to continue to see this crisis, and you're going to continue to see that flow from Colombia, Panama, Central America, and Mexico all the way into the United States.
Well, we got a moment, Chad, that may have been accidental honesty on behalf of someone in the administration, and that is FBI Director Chris Wray. We talk about who's coming across. Not all are seeking asylum. We've had more than 50 individuals hit the terrorist screening database in the RGV where I was since last Thursday. There were more than 20 gang members, 4 convicted criminal migrants, 1 convicted in Illinois of child rape. But there was a moment here before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and Senator John Cornyn pressed FBI Director Wray specifically about what we're seeing coming across migrants from more than 150 countries, in the number of countries growing. Here is the exchange. Take a listen.
I certainly know that it is an eclectic mix of nationalities, and the volume is just staggering.
And that's a public security threat. You agree with me?
To me, it represents a significant security issue and represents a wide array of criminal threats that flow out of it.
Chad, your reaction?
Well, I believe Director Wray is absolutely correct. This is a national security threat. And so the numbers are 56 known or suspected terrorists that have been apprehended along that border just in this fiscal year. And so that is an extraordinary amount. You have to go back 5, 6, 7 years to find that number that have been apprehended. And so we're a little over a month away from the anniversary of 9/11. And you talk about trying to keep bad people and bad things out of this country, harming Americans. And yet we look at the southern border and you see an invitation. And that's why you see 150 different nationalities that are apprehended along that border, and you see known and suspected terrorists. And those are just the ones that we apprehend. Those are the ones that stumble into our Border Patrol officers. And so you have to be concerned about the national security and the public safety threat that is occurring at that border that may not manifest itself today, but will certainly do that in the months and years to come.
What concerns me, Chad, is your honest answer to this last question, and that is, can the border be fixed before it's too late?
100%. It can be fixed. It takes, as I said, it takes very, very difficult decisions and some leadership to do the right thing, to hold people accountable for breaking the law, making sure that they're not abusing the asylum system. These are things that can be done. We've proved that it can be fixed. You've got to have the will to do it. This administration has shown no desire to actually fix the system. They simply want to keep processing more and more individuals into the country. It's the wrong approach. It's the wrong solution. It's bad for Americans.
Former Acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf, thank you for great insight and coming on Saturday. Thank you, sir.